Welcome to another video for the Wichita State Composition Program. This video goes over the final multimodal argument for English 102. This is the final step in the English 102 research project. For this assignment, you will bring together everything you have learned to create a video essay, audio essay, visual essay, or conference-style presentation. As you've learned, a multimodal text combines different communicative modes, words, images, sounds, gestures, etc., to convey a single coherent message. Recommended genres for your project include a video essay, an audio essay, such as a podcast, a conference-style presentation with an accompanying slideshow, and a visual essay, such as a comic. Your multimodal argument has the same purpose as your written argument. It should persuade your audience to agree with your response to a rhetorical problem. You will need to convince them of at least two things: that the rhetorical problem you've identified needs to be resolved, and that your proposed solutions will resolve it. To present a compelling argument, you will probably need to overcome objections and counterarguments to these points. Your audience may need to be convinced that the problem matters and needs to be solved, or your audience may need to be convinced that your solutions are preferable to other solutions. Your multimodal argument also has the same audience as your written argument. Once again, think of your audience as skeptical but open to persuasion. They need solid evidence and arguments to be persuaded to agree with you. You can also assume that your audience is not an expert on your topic. They may be familiar with the general conversation surrounding a topic, but they will not be familiar with all of the sources you discuss. You will need to introduce your sources and explain why they are trustworthy. You should plan for the possibility that your audience includes people with disabilities, including vision and hearing impairments, and ensure that your multimodal project is accessible to them. You will learn more about making multimodal texts accessible in this unit. Your tone for this assignment doesn't need to be formal. You're welcome to use contractions and the first person I. However, your tone should still be professional. Use your written argument as a starting point for this project. Most students will find it useful to turn their paper into a script for a video podcast or presentation, and then supplement the spoken words with audio, visual, or video elements. The length of your project will depend on modality. Video essays, audio essays, and presentations should be 10 to 15 minutes. Visual essays should be 5 to 7 pages. Your project should also discuss at least 5 sources. Reference sources like dictionaries and encyclopedias do not count towards this minimum. Cite the original source of data, quotations, and ideas you present within your project, and submit a separate works cited page that lists all sources according to MLA-style guidelines. You can find a handout on Blackboard that shows you how to cite sources within multimodal documents. Students creating a podcast or video should submit a link to the podcast or video, a full transcript of the podcast or video, and an MLA-style works cited page. Students giving a conference-style presentation should submit their slideshow and an MLA-style works cited page. These students also need to give the presentation in class. Students creating a visual essay, such as a comic, should submit their visual essay, an accessible description of their visual essay, and an MLA-style works cited page. You can find a sample accessible description on Blackboard. Remember that assignments created for other courses, including English 101 or other sections of English 102, are not permitted. Your multimodal argument should be created for this section of English 102. Thank you for watching this video. Please email your instructor if you have any questions about this assignment.